This episode of the Tribeman podcast is brought to you by Link Landscaping LLC. Link Landscaping LLC is a lawn maintenance and landscape design company servicing the entire Treasure Coast. It's veteran-owned and operated. If you have any lawn maintenance needs, please call 772-800-9929 for your free estimate today. And again, that's Link Landscaping LLC. All right, welcome everybody back to the Tribeman podcast for episode 8. Special episode here. It's our first dual guest episode, father and son tandem.
He wasn't even supposed to be on this shit.
To be honest with you,
sounds good on paper.
After the first 20 minutes you being here, I'm very glad that he came.
Why? Because there was going to be because he needed to.
He's like your handler, you know what I mean? Like Joe Biden, you know what I mean? He's handling you. So with that, I'm gonna welcome my first two guests. My first double guests. It is Dan and Daniel Donaldson. Woo! What's up, boys?
That sounds like the crowd at the Fenn Center, boy.
Hell yeah, we're gonna get there for sure. But first question every podcast is well, I guess we'll go with Dan, and then on the double questions we'll go both of you. I'll mix it up. So obviously you have the same name. So what is your name?
My name?
Yes, sir.
Daniel Donaldson.
All right, and where are you from?
Like Port St. I live in Port St. Lucie.
Where'd you start out at?
I was born in Utica, New York.
Utica, New York.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
I was born in Utica, New York. I lived there till I was like 10 or 11.
So if an alien came from outer space and you had to be the representative from Utica, New York, what would it be like? What would you tell the alien?
What would I tell him?
About describe Utica, New York.
I don't fucking know.
No? Then where'd you move after Utica then?
I mean, Utica is like a small town that's outside Syracuse, but I don't really like. I mean, I remember a lot of it, but I wouldn't really know how to describe the motherfucker because I didn't really like get to. It was just like
it wasn't your development
playing
years.
Sports and shit like that. And
so at 10, where'd you go after 10?
11, we moved to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Vegas. All right. Well, you can tell me about Vegas.
That was cool. I was like smoking weed at 12 and fucking running, just crazy shit.
And you're there from what, 11 to when?
16, I think.
All right, so your developmental years were spent in Vegas. It
Yeah,
explains a lot about you.
And ended up in Florida after a while.
Yeah. Mom and Dad picked up and moved out to Florida?
All New Yorkers end up out west or down here, right?
Yeah,
So.
Philadelphia too.
Yeah.
I think we're all running from something up there.
Uh-huh.
But
I guess so. Yeah, then we ended up in Florida after a while, and then that's kind of it. Kind of bounced around. I did live a couple years up in Boise, right outside Boise, Idaho.
Did you really?
I swear to God.
Yeah, picking potatoes. What were you doing in Idaho?
I don't even know. My parents were like, "Oh, let's go try this out." After a few years in Vegas, and
so you lived in 4 states.
I lived in Virginia too.
Did you really?
I lived 1 year in Virginia, and I used to work in Washington D.C. every night.
Oh shit.
We used to live. It was Richmond, Virginia. We drove every night to Washington D.C. It was like an hour and a half each way.
You ain't a Fed dog, are you?
Nah. A Fed? No, I'm
like the op.
Yeah.
No.
So
I bounced around a lot.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying,
like
dude.
I think I went to like three high schools and shit. I don't even know.
Damn, dude.
When I think back, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
That's why you bounce around so much and you found such a home in Florida. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I'm not going anywhere no
Yeah,
more.
this
It's
is
a
it.
wrap. Like I'm straight.
So in Florida, so, I mean, what's your occupation?
I think you could call me like an
uncle. You have your unc status right now.
You're on status, but like if
I
so,
think it's
say if the government on your W-2 or whatever, what do you put in?
Like event coordinator, promoter.
He's being humble right now.
MMA show, MMA promoter, MMA coach. I'm just.
You are a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm a lot of different things within the MMA industry. I manage guys. I match make shows. I match make my show. I put on Rise of a Warrior events. I do a lot of shit. I also have a full blown MMA team that I have to like coach and teach and mentor these motherfuckers. Like it's just
good job.
It's all day. It doesn't stop.
Yeah. So how'd you get into that? It's a
did
crazy thing to get into, first of all, because I mean, what he does. You know, we're gonna break it down into more what he does, but it is an umbrella of things that you do. But how did you get into that lifestyle? Something as me looking in from an outside perspective, how do you get into that?
how did I get into like martial arts as a kid type shit, or
No,
how
like
did I get
into I mean, martial arts. But how'd you get into the business of being a
The
promoter
industry.
in MMA, the industry,
What?
the industry?
the industry in general? A friend of mine, Dean Thomas, opened up an American Top Team mixed martial arts gym in Port St. Lucie, and I was one of his first students that signed up that first like enrollment weekend, you could say. And I've just kind of been involved in it ever since. After a year, I was like teaching the kids program and doing signups. So like I was like as an assistant instructor to him with the kids program, and that grew into teaching adults. And then at the same time, I just kind of became the gym manager, which turned into managing the fighters, which turned into matchmaking and being involved with like MMA shows throughout the state, which turned into me matchmaking Rise of Warrior, which turned into me owning Rise of Warrior. It's just been and there's just so much shit in the middle of cage, because I own a cage, so I would do cage rentals, I would matchmake other shows, I would sanction events, other amateur sanctioning, I would sanction other promotions events with as a sanctioning body. I just kind of done everything that you can do like within the sport, like within Florida in a way.
So like
you know what I
when
mean?
Dana White says like not everyone can be a promoter, like nobody goes to school to be a promoter, like that is a school right there. Like you really went through all those different things to collective to get to where you are now. I mean, it's not just an overnight thing. You can't just wake up and say, hey, I want to be an MMA promoter. Here's some money and I want to do it. You have to actually go through all of those steps.
You do, and I had to I kind of went through that like.
You fought too, so I mean, you know from every perspective.
Yeah, I did. I fought too.
Yeah, so I mean, you know from every perspective of the thing. And my next two questions were, tell me about your time at American Top Team and how would you and Din Thomas become BFFs?
What was the first part?
Tell me about your time at American Top Team, but you kind of just did that.
It was cool. Like American Top Team was cool. It was like so new and exciting because mixed martial arts was so new. So,
What years were these roughly?
2004 to 2016.
Wow, that was a long time.
Yeah, so it was like it was.
That was like the height. It was like the growth of the sport right there.
Yeah, but like 2004, from 2004 to like 2010 was just like so exciting because the sport got really, really popular, and then like there was a period there where Dean went on the Ultimate Fighter show, so we were like really pumped up, and then he got arrested one time, and then because we put on this event, we put on this event at within our gym. It's called a smoker. And we had guys fighting each other, but we did everything right. He kind of let me do it. I was like, yo, he like, I don't know why he let me do it. I think it was 2008. It was in 2008.
You got busted running a smoker. Dude,
That's so smoker is like, there's pro, there's amateur, and then there's smoker level guys. And these are guys that like, you could have like sparring sessions in a gym and shit like that. So we put on a smoker and we may have or may have not charged admission. And we had like,
That's sick, though.
We had like 300 people there.
What's wrong with that? I guess the taxes.
Yeah. Nah, it wasn't really even. I don't even think it was something like that. It was something like the
Sanctioning
Florida,
shit.
Yeah, sanctioning.
Yeah.
But the thing was, like we had so many friends that were like training with us that were like EMTs and firemen and police officers that they were all there too. Like we even had a fire truck outside just in case someone got hurt.
Yeah.
We only did 3 fights that night. And he just let me do it, but he got arrested for it.
That sucks.
Yeah,
It's a cool thing to have on your resume, though, on your street cred resume. But how'd you meet him? Like, how'd you get involved with him?
He kind of took the charge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
How did I?
Yeah, how'd you guys get together? Like, how'd you meet? Then, like, how did you guys in like 04? How'd you like first?
I met him before that at a UFC.
I remember the UFC event.
Yeah, because I was looking for something to do, and I was always looking up like MMA in Port St. Lucie, Jiu-Jitsu because you had the internet back then. So
Yeah.
I would just hop online and like search internet, and everything that would come up would be about this dude named Dean Thomas that was from Port St. Lucie. So I was just like, "Fuck, man, he lives in Orlando now, or he lived." I would check him out on his website, but he wasn't nowhere around. And then one day I was at a UFC. It was in Miami. It was Matt Hughes against fuck, I can't remember the guy's name, but that was the main event was Matt Hughes, and I just yelled out his name, and then he turned around. I was like, "What's up?" And then I was like, "I'm from Port St. Lucie," and we started talking, and this was like 2002.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, keep up with me on my website because I
awesome.
always do like he sends out newsletters." So then after like two years of like keeping up with them online and shit, like he emailed us all like at once and was like, "Hey, I'm opening up a gym in Port St. Lucie soon."
That's awesome.
So we just kept in touch online. It was through email. You know how it was back then. Like, everything was email.
It
Like,
was the old-fashioned way at first. Yo,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's how
cool.
it ended up. And then he just he just kept in touch with a lot of us motherfuckers, and then we just ended up all signing up there.
Because you guys really are really close.
Because we were all talking to each other, like, how did you find out about this? How did you find out? And we were like, oh, I was on his newsletter for, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there was like 6 or 7 of us, and some of us are still friends.
Well, he comes to your house and does private training sessions all the time. I actually got invited to one, which was awesome. You know,
Who, Dean?
Yeah, when he comes to your house and he trains the guys at your house sometimes.
Yeah, once in a while he'll do that shit. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, especially during COVID, he did that shit every day, but not so much anymore because he's on the road, but he's gay.
Now you own Rise of Warrior MMA fight card out of Fort Pierce. So I have a bunch of questions about that, but this is the first question for Danny and you. I would say, at all the fighters that come through Fort Pierce, who is Fort Pierce's favorite fighter? If there was a vote,
Damn.
and had to come through fight for Rise of Warrior.
Like from the beginning.
I'm talking about from the beginning till now. I'm talking about crowd reaction, crowd turnout, excitement, and then also throw in the performance factor and the wow factor after the fact. I know my vote.
It'd probably have to go to Pavo, man. It'd probably have to go to Corey Pavo.
I mean,
I've
Corey
never seen
Pavo.
a crowd pop like that.
Yes. He has his own chant.
Let me tell a Corey Pavo story real quick if we're gonna talk about Pavo.
Please.
So, I don't know if I want to answer that because like there's this thing that happens when like amateur fighters first fight for that first time. They have a fuck ton of people, and then it kind of fades out, and then they level out at like 20 people showing up. When that first time it could have been like 100. You know what I'm saying? That first time that they fought. But Corey Pavo always consistently was at like, let's say 100, right? But one story that I can think of, and I was thinking about it the other day, was like, I don't even know if he likes it. I don't even know if he likes this. So
we're here now.
No, I know. So he'll probably like it. He fought this dude named Daryl, and he caught this. Was it Daryl? It may have been this other kid named Joey. He caught this dude. He took this dude's back, and then he started to choke him standing, and had the presence of mind to turn him and face him to all of his family and friends that were in a section.
It's such a cool thing to do.
And then he gave it all that he had while this dude was trying to get away. He faced this dude towards all of his family, turned him around a good few feet, had a rear naked choke on him, and was looking at his people and like,
why'd you do that, dude?
And he squeaked and he choked this guy out while he was looking out at his family and friends. And this was
That's my biggest nightmare.
This is like 2017, 2018 maybe, so really wasn't like iPhone type shit.
Yeah.
But it might be online. I'm not particularly sure, but like the way that he did that shit was just like
Legendary.
yeah,
Legendary.
like, and then that made people,
I hate to fucking fluff his ass too, because he's a fucking cocky motherfucker. He's gonna talk shit about it, but I'll give him his props. He's a fucking legend.
He is not cocky though.
But we talk shit.
I feel you.
Yeah.
He's not. He's definitely he's definitely top. Like if there's some shit popping off in the middle of the night, I'm calling him Pavo.
Well, last time we were at Rise, we were sitting there. It's the kind of shit that he talks. And Nico was there, and I was like, "Man, it's cool. He looks just like you." And he turned back to me, and he's like, "That's what happens when you have boys, bitch." Because I have a daughter. I was like,
He's a good shit talker.
Who's the biggest pain in the ass fighter to deal with?
Handsome Devil, Luis Perez.
Right, instantly, bro. Instantly.
Yeah, I don't.
He's fucking wild, dude. He's wild. Handsome devil, bro.
Yeah, he's tough, man.
You talking about Titus?
Yeah.
He's fucking wild, bro.
He's a wild cat.
Titus is.
And his mom's such a sweet lady. She sat during the court. She's a sweet lady too, and he wild out too, right?
Yeah, no, I love Titus.
He got good heart though. He's good people.
Oh,
yeah, he's a fighter.
I love Titus. I love him.
He's the wild dog.
So what's your answer then?
Of all time, it's weird because these guys are all fresh on my mind now because they're in my house every day.
Yeah.
Because they train at my house. I mean, like
Every
we
day.
could talk about that. Like
We're getting to get there.
all right. So
Luis
that's
Perez.
who's fresh on my mind. But like I could think back to like other eras of these fighters.
Give me
and,
give me two to stand out.
Man, Dylan Bladen, he knows.
The Irish thug, bro.
Yeah, he no-showed me like 3 times.
He gave Hart last fight though.
Yo,
He gave Hart last fight, and he nicked him too. He had a chance in that last fight.
Can you imagine it would be a completely different conversation if
Max
he did.
Holloway, Justin Gaethje all over again, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Dylan has been very tough to work with too.
But he's taking a turn for the better. I'd say that. You know what I mean?
If I really like this question is, there's just I could sit back and like think of every year there's somebody that like does it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you motherfucker, how could you do this shit to me? Like, I did all this marketing and this and that
Yeah.
for you. Like
Yeah.
we trained at the house. You did this. I see you on a daily. You literally like no showed me on fight day. Not Dylan, but
I wanted to the last time I went out.
Yeah, it's
but
tough.
you
Like,
can't.
a lot
You
of people
can't
do
do
that
it.
shit,
You can't
you
do
know?
it. It's petrifying. But once you say I'm done, you got to go. So then, obviously, my next question is: fighters that have fought for your cards or have been through, your tutelage, that have gone on to the UFC, BKFC, Bellator, won championship, professional fighting, making money. I know you have a lot of guys on your team that do fight professionally that are up and coming right now. But I know you have had some big names come through your program.
Yeah, that's
too.
weird. That's weird, right? Like, cause I had somebody ask me the other day, like, oh, they're asking about Donnie Bush, and they're like, oh, so he just won that fight, so he should be pro soon. And I was like, he is pro, and they're like, yeah, but he's not on the UFC. Isn't that pro? And I'm like, nah, dog. Like, let me explain to you.
Levels,
like, this is
bro.
how
Yeah,
it works.
yeah,
like.
yeah.
There's UFC and there's all these. There's a lot of pro events. There's just not just because the UFC is so publicized, it doesn't mean that like these guys, they're not fighting on that level. They just haven't made it within that organization.
Why do people do that with MMA? Like NBA has the Euros that they pull from. MLB has AAA, AA, single A. I mean, and the UFC has to pull from somewhere. It's just like college players are getting paid now. It's the same kind of thing. You know what I mean? You're fighting at other promotions that aren't as big as UFC, but the UFC does pull from these. I mean, looking for a fight with Dean and
Contender Series.
Contender Series, it's just that.
But like fighters that have came through that are like that are dope and that are like in the UFC, like, I mean, it's dope. It's cool that they're in the UFC, but they all have one thing in common. Like a lot of them is that if I offered them a fight and it was with somebody who was a scrub, they'd be like, give me somebody tougher.
Yeah.
Straight up. Mike Perry, Alex Nicholson, Jillian Robertson,
Yeah, Mike Perry, huh?
Rico DeShulo. They all were like that. They all wanted to fight the best fighters. They didn't want to be like, even Valentine Woodburn. He just fought in the UFC a couple
Yeah,
times.
he fought Bo Nickel.
Yeah, he did. They all have that. They're like, I'm not trying to fight that dude. He's like, thinking back, like they used to do that. They used to do that. I remember having conversations with them. I could probably look back at messages on Messenger and then be like, do you have anybody tougher?
Yeah.
Straight up. They would all of them. They all had that in common. All of them and that made it that far. They all have that in common. They really do.
Chad or Rojas too, or
Charles Rosa.
yeah, Charles Rosa.
Oh yeah, why did I not bring him
Rosa.
up? Yeah, so Charles Rosa too. He's another one. Like he should have been one of the first ones I mentioned. To be honest, like
He cornered the guy at your last card.
yeah. His brother Lucas, but he'd be the same way. He'd be like, I need tougher. He fought Fernando Tovar and Chad Livingston. These guys were the toughest guys in the state at that time as amateurs. It's the same thing with Jillian and Mike Perry and them. They wanted tough fights. That's just something that's. And I see some of that. I see a lot of that in some of the guys that I have now, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
You got a lot of heart in there.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I got something here. Like
Yeah.
Shane Mistrada gets mad at me. He's like, don't even offer me that shit. I'm like, sorry, motherfucker. Like, my bad. Don't even offer. He literally is like, don't even offer me fights like that.
I mean, even Jillian said you got shouted out by Jillian on the Joe Rogan podcast, and she was
Yeah.
the first thing she said about your promotion was that she was
She
fighting
fought another girl that was in the
UFC
UFC.
level
Elijah
competition.
Morales is like that too. I've offered him fights. He's like, do you got anybody tougher?
He's about to go to Thailand, ain't he, Elijah? I heard he's about to go to Thailand or
But
something like that.
Donnie Bush was always like that. A lot of these guys are just like, "What I'm going to go out there, I'm going to scrub this dude, and that'd be it." Like, I want to see where I'm at with this, So, I mean, that's a good sign. Cody Cook is another one. He'd be like, "Well, you got anybody else?"
Cody, man, kid's a beast. So in your garage, I mean, we said there's many things, hats that he wears underneath the umbrella of being a fight promoter, but at his garage, he has, at any time, 10 to 15 to sometimes 20 to 30 guys training at his house in his garage. And a lot of these guys that come through there, I own drug and alcohol treatment centers, and he's stopping people from getting to me, you know what I mean, or to the jail. On the mentoring side of things, it's something that I've never seen before, and the amount of guys that he has under his tutelage, it's something amazing that you can't really put into words and describe on a podcast. But how's the mentoring side of that been for you?
It's probably like what I enjoy the most, to be honest, because I don't feel like I ever really had that personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I really had that. So when there are guys that are going through some sort of shit and I could just see it on their, I know these motherfuckers like the back of my hand now.
Tell it to me.
I could tell when somebody's, and I'm like, well, what's really going on. What's really going on? Yeah. Just tell me, because I probably have been through it, or I've seen it, or I've had to help somebody else through it. What is it? What is it?
Yeah.
Just tell me.
And if you think you know what it is, the thing is, you'll tell like 16 things that you did in the same arena to make you feel okay with saying, all right.
I'm like, just let it go. What is it? What's going on? So I kind of, that's probably what I enjoy more than anything, is that part of shit. Because, I mean, there's so many times, like even within the group chat that I have with these guys called Treasure Coast Cartel, like I'll do shit where like, yo, so-and-so's fucking got arrested. We need to put my money together and help bond him out. Or so-and-so's car broke down. Let's all pitch in money. Hit my Cash App. Let's help this dude get his car back on the road so he can keep training. There's always situations like that pop up, and like putting things together like that where I can help these guys. I love that shit. Man. I love that shit more than I do putting on an event. Yeah. If I put together a little something to help somebody get out of some shit, I love it. I love it because it comes back around. It always comes back around. I never worry about money. Yeah. I don't worry about money because
you really don't.
I don't, and that shit always just comes back around because I'm helping people. And guess what these motherfuckers do? They help sell tickets. They help me with events. They help me with all this shit. It all comes back. It's circular.
Papa Bear, man.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know how it ended up like this, but it did, and it's a unique ass situation.
Yeah, I mean,
it really is.
As an outsider looking at it, obviously the violence and the excitement of MMA and the cage fighting drew me into your arena, I guess you would say. But just seeing how you affect these guys is what kind of made me love it. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it's weird. Sometimes
you don't like feeling compliments, but yeah, man, you help a lot of people.
No, I know it's surreal. Sometimes I'm like, how the fuck did I end up in this position? But
the man upstairs put you in it, brother.
It must be
divine, no bro. It's corny to say, but it's no other explanation for it.
Yeah, no doubt.
But now I have a question for Danny. How is it working with your old man? Because I mean, as you're promoting, don't talk. As another thing that I admire about Dan is that his whole promotion is family oriented. It's family run. His significant other works for him. Danny controls the whole. Danny's a social media monster. Phenomenal. He controls all that for him, and many other things that you do. And your older brother works there as well. How is it, working for your dad and working in a family atmosphere, and go on further about the social media aspect of it, because you work, you fight, you train, but also you found another love in bringing eyes to these guys too. So if you can talk about that a little bit too.
I appreciate that, man. It's a lot of fun working with
you trying to sound professional
with my father. With working with my dad, it's a lot of fun. We just make reels all day and hang out. I've been around the sport for a long time, so Mitchell too. Shout out to Mitchell. That's my dog.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Who the fuck that guy is?
You said what?
We're gonna find who the fuck that guy is. He's a question on here.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He's the guy that put me on when it comes to all this social media stuff and taught me how to use the app, and so we just have a lot of fun with it, man. It's a lot of fun getting to work with my father.
Because a big part of the game is obviously being good at the sport, but also being a entertaining athlete too. So you are getting a lot of eyes to these guys, which is a big asset to them too. So I mean, good job on you for doing that for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
So here's a question for both of you. If you had to come up with a fight nickname for me, because obviously you can't give a fight nickname to anybody, and take the gloves off. I'm 0-2. So what would my fight nickname be?
Randy Sandwich.
All right, Dan and Danny, if you had a fight, right, your next fight, say hypothetically you're fighting, what would your walkout songs be?
Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Cyndi Lauper?
Nah, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, I like that. That gets the crowd going, though.
Yeah,
it gets the crowd going, bro. It does.
Didn't Apple Pie just come out to that shit?
Yeah, he did.
Dude, shouts Apple Pie.
Yeah, he's that guy.
I want to see him in November.
I want him in the UFC.
Yeah, Apple Pie's kind of dope, man.
He got the skill and he got the personality,
bro.
Personality, Chugging, doing shoeies out of his fucking
I haven't
cup.
seen someone do that yet. Have we seen someone do that? We've seen shoes, but not the cup.
Not out of the cup. That's just nasty. He must be packing a little pecker in Apple Pie. He's like, you know what I mean? I ain't going flesh the fucking cup and then jugging that shit. He's a monster. He's doing that.
What was it?
What was your walkout song? Yeah. He got Girls Just Want to Have Fun. What's your walkout song?
Something hard like 50 Cent.
Something fucking like Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares, and
yeah,
something like that. Something like, or Tupac, some Tupac shit.
Yeah, every time
Ambitions. It's like I like the.
You like your you like your shows being hood. I sent you two I sent you Temptations and I sent you Motley Crue. You're like, come on, bro. I gotta hip hop.
It does kill the mood for a lot of people.
Yeah. But then when the one guy comes out to something like that, the crowd goes crazy. Like when Joey came out to friggin' the Merry Christmas song by Mariah Carey, that place popped off, dude.
It
popped off. That's why I love having guys like Joey on the card.
I love Joey, man.
All right, so here's some. Since we all have significant others, we're gonna do the gay version of Who Would You Rather. All right. Yeah. All right. Come on.
Go ahead.
All right. Paula Costa or Luke Rockhold?
Paulo Costa.
You like the
like
Latin
Brazilian,
guy? Yeah.
yeah.
What about you?
I'm just publicly not doing that gay. I'm just publicly
I'll
not.
do it. All right, I'll do it.
I'm cool with gay. I'm cool. I just can't.
All right, fine. All right. Well, I'm a little bit more
I'm just not
confident.
saying
I mean, he's already
shit.
recognized as the most handsome UFC fighter on the planet,
Yeah,
right?
so I'm saying,
Paulo
yeah,
Costa. We could all just run with it.
All right, here's some
Joe
more.
Rogan talked about it all like a 5-minute.
He's a very
segment,
good-looking
so,
guy.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So here's some more. Who Would You Rather? Treasure Coast Cartel Edition. Now, do you want to go pretty boy, or do you want to go rough and rugged? You know what I mean? One guy will show you the world. The other guy will make the world that you're in more enjoyable. All right. Cody Matlin or Steve Tomahawk Townsend?
I love Cody Maitland.
he's
You
a
know,
good
I've known
kid, man.
Cody Maitland since he was like 12 years old.
You got the boy charm. I'm saying. He's like the boy
I'm
band.
not, I'm just telling you a Cody Maitland story. I'm not picking because
See, we know who he's picking now.
Yeah, I'm
all
not.
right.
But Cody Maitland walked into the gym with Dylan Bryson, Scrap Bryson.
Yeah, Scrap. Oh, you can't call him Scrap no more. He's Dylan now.
He's Dylan Loves
Dylan.
Life
Yeah,
Bryson
Dylan
now.
Loves Life.
But he's like
Brother Dyson.
Yeah. So they came in together like when they were like kids. They were like 12, 13 years old. They were like just little skaters. So I've known Cody since he was young too.
He brought Raw Dog into the fold
Yeah,
too.
he brought Raw Dog in. Raw Dog's cool. And then and Steve Townsend is one of my aces too. He's one of my middle of the night calls if something's up. I'm like, hey,
my daughter goes out on her first date. He's gonna be the guy that answers the door.
He's the boy for real. I love Steve.
Who's your favorite fighter of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje.
Gaethje?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
I'm a big-
he kicked the shit out of him at something. And
I
they got,
saw it. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
They got like a
kick.
million
Yeah, he
views.
kicked the fuck out of me.
It was cool that he did that too.
Yeah,
it
I
was
know,
cool that
right?
he was a down to earth guy too. Yeah. How about you?
It was cold out, so
It was
like
cold, too.
yeah, and I don't know, man. It hurt.
It did hurt?
It didn't look like it was that bad in the video, but it hurt.
You weren't a bitch though. Like the dude John Jones kick went to the hospital. You took it like a
Yeah,
man.
I took it like a champ. Yeah, for sure. But definitely Gaethje. Yeah, he's a G. Yeah.
How about you?
I can't even narrow one down.
No?
Nah, never in my life have I ever been like I have a favorite fighter. Nah, never. I have dudes that I'm fans of like Max Holloway and like I don't even fuck with the Diaz brothers no more like that, but like
Really?
yeah, I don't know. I'm fans of like fights.
Yeah?
I'm fans of fights.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's weird. I guess I could say that. I'm fans of fights. Like if I see a fight that gets put together, I'm like, damn, I can't wait to see that
Okay,
shit.
all right, I can
But
see
I'm not a
actually,
fan of like the actual fighter. Like if I'm gonna like fanboy over anybody that I like when we go to these UFC events and I see fighters, I'm like, yeah, like we met Nate Diaz once and I was like, whatever. And he met Nick Diaz and we're like, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like I just don't. Like I never really been like, oh my God. Like no favorite fighter. No, I'm a favorite. I love my own guys.
Yeah,
Like
all
when
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like
I respect that.
yeah, like
I respect that.
yeah, I just my own people that I have like direct contact on a daily basis. I'm like, I love this motherfucker. I hope he gets it done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I can't.
I got you.
It doesn't do it for me. I can't pick a
I
favorite
understand
fighter.
from
Yeah.
where you're put myself in your shoes. I understand
Yeah, I
your
just
point of view
can't.
being that,
There's nothing there.
Max and Ilya got me like that though.
Yeah.
Like fan of fights.
Yeah, fights.
That could be fight of the year.
Yeah,
I'm really
yeah,
excited for that
sure,
one.
for sure. And like I would say, most influential fighters for me as being someone who came to the game late. John Jones kind of got me into the game when he got the title real low, and then Conor took it to another level for me.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, I mean, over my entire career of watching UFC, I think Dustin Poirier's probably been the most like
Dog
in it.
just
Yeah,
entertaining.
in it every
You can't
time.
go
yeah.
wrong. You're gonna tune in for a Dustin.
Yeah,
Poirier
and like
fight.
he's about every. I mean, he's fighting somebody good every time. It's always world class. He's in it for 5 rounds. You know what I mean? Except for one time he fought Gaethje last fight. I want to see that. I want to see a third fight.
I would love to see.
Yeah,
a
that'd
third
be-
fight.
that'd be another one.
1-1. They should do it.
I think like maybe Max Holloway.
Max
would.
too, yeah.
So like Max,
And he's
like
blessed, you know,
like
you
if
know,
I was
you
in the
can't go
same room
wrong.
with Max, I would be.
I respect him as a human.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, do I say hi? I don't want to bother him. Everybody else, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I'll say what's up.
But
to
as a
him.
human, he's admirable too. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
know.
That's I mean on a
But
human
him
level.
personally, I'd be like, fuck, I don't want to bother that dude and be one of those guys.
yeah.
He'd probably be the most accepting to you.
Yeah,
saying hi,
yeah, I
too.
know, that's the
Yeah.
thing. He
Yo,
probably
brother.
would.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
His stardom definitely quadrupled since this. That
That's
last
crazy. And he's
KO.
been in the game for so long, and he's still so young.
know.
He's 31, 32.
People forget.
Yeah,
He
bro.
started in the UFC when he was 21.
And I've won the most money betting on him.
Well, we're gonna get there too. You're gonna help us out on the no-J card. But my next question: who is Mitchell Chamali? I mean, if you're my friend, you're friends with my friends, and Mitchell's always been cool to me. But like, he's such an impact on you guys that I see from afar, and like you guys so involved with his thing and everything. That's just who is he? What is what's he do?
Mitchell Chamale is the CEO of Combat Night, and he's been he's been like a mentor to me, man. He's a really nice father, great father, man. If you ever
What? I'm your dad. What the fuck?
yeah. If you ever check out his Instagram, he posts every day, and he's a great role model father and a great man, and it's cool to be able to talk with him on a daily basis and work together on content and just fights and
You got you into the content side of things.
Yeah. He's the reason I started making content.
Fun, isn't it?
It's a lot of fun, yeah.
And you have such the sport that you're around. There's just so much fun content in it too. You know, it's cool.
There's this thing that's going on online where like people are saying that he stole him from me.
Oh.
So amongst like the Combat Night crew and all these,
I was gonna
events
pass
we
over
go
that
to,
because it was sad that
No, it's cool. Like I know that they're fucking with me and stuff, and then like
they could be father and
then
son or brother and
Angel, who's a part of Combat Night too, who he calls him his uncle, and that they're stealing him from me. And it's just like this little shtick that we've all been playing.
He sounds hurt. He sounds a little hurt.
I know, a little
I'm
bit,
not
right?
upset about it. I think it's funny.
Does he sound comment? When is your next card at Rise of a Warrior? Where is it? When is it?
Havert Elfen Center in Fort Pierce, November 23rd.
Woo! And it's a pro-am, right?
It's a pro-am, so we have an amateur card and a pro card too. So we have both.
Nice. Now, as a business owner, we got involved with Rise of a Warrior, I'd say 5-6 years ago. Not 5-6 years ago, I would say 3-4 years ago. It's been about probably 7 cards we've been at, and it's been a great experience, great exposure for us.
Has it been? It's got to be more cards than that.
Probably, it's been a lot. It's 3 cards a year. Probably been about 4 years. So do the math. Probably 12 cards actually. Yeah, about 12 cards. And it's my favorite night out every year.
It's the only night out on the Treasure Coast.
It's not just. And it's a safe environment. It's MMA. They serve alcohol. They have food trucks out front, banging DJ. But how would a business like mine get involved with Rise of a Warrior? They want to get involved.
I mean, I do have like sponsorship information on our website where people can get on there and reach out to me and talk about like how they want to, what they would want to do. Because some companies are different. Like there's a lot of times where like, there's like like a doctor's office wouldn't want to reach out and be like, hey, I want to sponsor a cage fighting event. But it happens.
Yeah.
Because they like the night out. And a lot of them.
That's why I came out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's you'd be surprised like the companies that come out and want to sponsor
There's
events.
law firms, there's sheriffs, there's all kinds of stuff. But I mean, as somebody who does sponsor, the event, it's you're sponsoring more than a night out too. Like we were saying before, like all these kids, you're keeping these kids out of trouble. I mean, not all of them.
We'll circle back to that. Like, that's why I think the police. I have the Port St. Lucie Police Department will drive by my house and they'll see like the 10 to 15 cars. They shot me out. Like that means a lot. They're like, man, that's dope that you're doing that. Like that's cool. I get a lot of love from the sheriff's department and the police and the Port St. Lucie Police Department because of that. I have cops that train with us too sometimes, and they're like, "Man, this is really cool what you're doing," because I don't charge these kids to come train at my house. They just come and train, and then I give them a platform to fight on. And like I have built this brotherhood of guys that help each other and train with each other and drill. And it would just be like, people say like all the time, like, aren't your neighbors? They think you're crazy, and I'm like,
they're all chill.
They're cool, and you know what? It'd be like, what's the difference between me having a basketball hoop out front of my house and all of these guys coming to play basketball?
Exactly.
It's the same shit. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're drilling techniques. I've got instructors every night that come and teach.
Discipline you're teaching too.
Yeah, I check them if they're doing the wrong shit, if they're acting wrong, if they're not acting right. I pull them aside and talk to them. Like, it's different. It's a way different thing that most people are used to seeing. A lot of these fighters and martial artists are coming from martial arts gyms. They're coming from my house.
Yeah.
They're coming from my house.
Yeah.
I've got pro fighters that are literally training at my crib.
There's a cage in your backyard.
There's a cage in my backyard. And I just say it's a trampoline, but we really are out there drilling techniques. I don't let my guys spar. I don't let them beat each other up.
It's a safe environment to learn how to.
Yeah, we really do wrestle. We do jujitsu. We wrestle. We do a lot of pad work.
Muay Thai.
And we get ready for fights. I don't let them spar and kill each other and fight. We don't fight at my house. That we do pick up the training a little bit with the intensity, but like I get these guys ready for fights, and I have access to promoters all over the state and the country to like help them and build their careers. So one day, we'll have fighters fighting on pay-per-view one day.
For sure will.
You know? And I truly believe in that. I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
I won't stop.
Yeah.
I won't stop until
there.
we get there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it is.
I think your thing's God got it for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like these guys all support each other so much that I don't even. Sometimes they just do it on their own.
Yeah.
They check each other on their own a lot of times. It's so cool.
And as a treatment center owner, I look at jails and treatment centers as reactive things, the bad things that happen. But I think your thing is a proactive thing. Like you're proactively making sure something like before we get to the point where they get into a trouble situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're keeping them out of that trouble situation.
Straight up. And the 50 guys that I got that are frequenting my house on a weekly basis could have easily be frequenting your spot on a weekly basis or daily basis. Yeah. And right, exactly. And that's why I'm like so thankful because I know that I'm making a difference in this area for real. I know, it hit me a couple years ago. I was like, "Bro, I really am helping these little bastards."
It's good to have a why like that, man. But in our last question of the day, you guys both help us out for the betting, our betting following here for UFC the Noche, right? I got 3 fights here on the main card, so we're gonna start out with Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. Who's winning that one? I want to know how they're winning it, what round they're winning it in.
That's a fun fight.
It is.
Brian Ortega's a dog. So I think people are going to count him out when it comes to because Diego's a young up and comer
and he's been active.
Yeah, I think Ortega is going to win a decision.
All right. So then we got Amanda Grasso versus the Bullet Shevchenko.
Grasso submitted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What round?
4th round.
All
right, then we go.
You know you're a degenerate when he's like, "What round?"
Yeah, Snuff, I got you. O'Malley versus Merab. I'm excited for this.
Yeah,
fight,
I know,
dude.
man. We've actually seen them both in person.
Really?
Yeah,
How small is Merab?
My height.
When we saw Merab, he was shadowboxing at the MGM, and he was lost.
He was by himself.
Lost, and he was. I hope he sees this shit. He probably don't remember. But we walked up to him, and he was shadowboxing while he was talking to a security guard, asking security,
Where am I?
Where am I? And where do I go? I'm looking for where the UFC weigh-ins were.
Just by himself, like a legendary Pokemon, man. It was
I'm a big O'Malley fan, but I think Merab's social media is funny too. But who do you got in the fight?
Hey, but real quick, he was a nice dude, man.
Yeah,
he was.
He seems like
he was chill as hell.
I'm a fan of both, but if I had to give a solid prediction, I think O'Malley is going to knock him out in the 2nd round.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm going the opposite.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going the opposite. I just think Merab's gonna wear him out, and we're gonna see a
decision
or no. I just think that shit happens to fighters sometimes, and shit's gonna happen to O'Malley finally.
A hole in moment.
Something happens.
I mean, it's in the sphere, and like this is a great moment for O'Malley to I think he really knows how to hone all that new pressure. Kind of like Conor in a way. When Conor was coming up, he was really good at fighting in front of millions, and like being able to hone
and just navigate like the sphere. No one's fought. No one knows what it looks like. So what's the screen gonna look like? What just fighting in that atmosphere? It's like the fight in that moment. Yeah, but who can handle that moment probably the best?
We'll see. For some reason I just think that Merab has like the. I don't even really think it has anything to do with Merab. I think that maybe O'Malley. These streaks don't last forever.
All right.
The streaks don't last forever. Look at Israel Adesanya. Look at Conor. Look at all these different guys. Look at Aldo. Shit happens. And maybe we'd see them fight 2 or 3 different times. Maybe those are going to be. Maybe that's going to be the fight within that division. We see them fight 3 times, 4 times.
Everyone's got to have a trilogy.
Yeah. I could be wrong, and you could replay this shit back.
I know.
He puts them away.
It's our prediction. Yeah, but I just know your house gonna be lit for the Noche because April. You know what I mean? Mexican.
Well, I want a cool edit if he does knock him out in the 2nd round.
I got you.
I want a cool edit.
Gonna be my own footage.
April is so Mexican too. She'll be.
Who's the Mexican male fighter that you guys compare it to? Brandon
Moreno. Yeah, probably Moreno.
Yeah, we've done side by sides of them, and we're like, they look like
brutal.
brother
She's
and
good
sister.
sport though. But with that, we're gonna wrap up the 8th episode of the Tribeman podcast. I want to thank Dan and Danny Donaldson one more time, and again, November 23rd, Rise of Warrior.
I'm fighting on it.
Avert.
Opens it back up.
I'm fighting on it.
You're fighting on it.
I'm fighting.
You're fighting.
November 23rd. I'm fighting.
We can leave it at that?
Now, I don't know. You could leave it at that if you want to, but I really
I want to know a lot more.
I have an opponent. Did I tell you?
Do you have an opponent?
Did I tell you about this?
I haven't heard about it.
Really? I'm fighting.
Who are you fighting?
I had one pro fight in 2007. I had a couple amateur fights, and then I had a pro fight in Costa Rica in 2007 that didn't go.
This is big news, Edgar. This is like really, really big news.
Yeah, I had one pro fight back in 2006.
Do you want to drop your opponent in a weight class?
I'm fighting at 205 pounds, so I gotta lose some weight. But
So that explains the water jug you got here
I'm
today.
drinking water.
Man,
But yeah, I'm fighting. I already have an opponent.
You can hold it. You can hold the opponent if you want to.
We can hold an opponent, but I'm fighting straight up.
205, Dan Donaldson fighting at Rise of Warrior.
Yeah, I'm fighting on
November 23rd,
yeah.
Avert Fence Center in Fort Pierce,
I
Florida.
would never be able to fight.
Woo! Come on! Oh, I'm sorry, Edgar. I fucking just
Are we
broke the whole
still
shit.
on? Is it over? Did you shut it all off?
I got bird. That's God right there. It's birds are chirping.
Wow.
That's big news, bro.
Yeah, it's big. I'm
Yo,
fighting.
tune in, bro. Get your tickets, son.
Yeah, I'm fighting. I couldn't never fight on my own cards because they're amateur events.
Oh, bro, just leave it at that. I'm so fucking excited
and
right now.
I had a pro fight, so I could never fight as
Let's
an amateur.
fucking go,
so I
boys.
have an opponent, and I'm fighting, and everybody that's kind of close to me knows. But
Potential sponsors are thinking about this card's gonna blow the fuck up now that he's on it. So contact their website, get in touch with Danny, sign up, man. But with that, I want to thank Dan Donaldson's fighting Rise in November. Wow. All right, guys. Episode 8. Great conclusion. Thank you, guys, and that's it. We're out.
So